Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. Today, me and my group members we will present about the public policy and macroeconomy problem in Brunei. So, I will pass to the first presenter to the present about the introduction of economy in Brunei.
Assalamualaikum and very good evening to Madam and everyone. Today we will present about the economic in Brunei. My name is Shahim Badri and I will present the introduction of Brunei economy. Brunei is a country on the island of Borneo in Southeast Asia. Malaysia surrounded it on all sides except South China Sea coast. Brunei coastline location put in adjustment to important maritime land that connect to Indian and Pacific Ocean. Brunei economy is almost entirely reliant on the extraction of its massive petroleum and natural gas reserve. Although oil and gas profit have enabled the state to provide one of the highest per capita income in Asia, they have also made the country dependent on a single commodity prone to market swing. Furthermore, practically all of Brunei manufactured items and the majority of its food must be imported. To maintain the country's economic stability, the government has worked to diversify the economy by expanding other industries such as agriculture, fishing, tourism, and financial service since the late 20th century. Other than that, despite its modest size and riches, it's a blend of international and native business, government regulation and welfare programs, and village tradition. Each nearly totally reliant on crude oil and natural gas export, with petroleum income accounting for more over half of GDP, although it has taken attempt to become more significant player by serving chairman of the APEC Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference in 2000. Brunei leaders are afraid that continuously increased integration in the global economy may weaken the local social cohesiveness. Due to the increasing oil price in the second half of 1999, growth was anticipated to be 25%. And now the unemployment rate in Brunei. Brunei unemployment rate rose to 8.40% in 2020, up from 6.80% in 2019. The unemployment rate in Brunei is calculated as the number of people actively looking for a work as a percentage of the total labor force. According to Trading Economic Global Macro Model and Analysis, Brunei unemployment rate is anticipated to reach 9.70% by the end of the year 2021. And according to economic models, the Brunei unemployment rate is expected to trend at 9.40% in 2021 and 8.90% in 2023. And now we're moving to inflation rate in Brunei. According to Trading Economic Global Macro Model and Analysis, Brunei inflation rate will be 1.90% by the end of this quarter. Brunei inflation rate is expected to be 2.30% in 12 months. According to econometric model, the Brunei inflation rate is expected to trend to 2.50% in 2021 and 2.20% in 2023. Brunei annual inflation rate fell to 1.1% in April 2021, the lowest since January last year, from 1.8% the month before, owing primarily to weaker rise in food and non-alcoholic beverage costs. In addition, price for recreation and culture and communication increased less to 1.8% versus 2.6%. Nevertheless, price of for health, education, transportation, restaurant, and hotel continue to grow to 0% versus 0.4%. Furthermore, price for miscellaneous product and service, furnishing, and apparel and footwear decreased quickly, while housing price declined by 0.2%, the same as in March. Consumer price declined 0.% in monthly basis in April, following a 0.3% increase in March.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Afisi Farhan bin Razali and I will present about public policy in Brunei. What is public policy and why it is so important? The broad range of government laws, regulation, court rulings and local ordinance is best summarized as public policy. Government now has an impact on every part of our life. The public policy implemented by the federal, state and local government affect everyone. By supporting candidates and political parties, many citizens and organizations attempt to influence public policy through the political process. That's a good method to make positive difference, but it is not the most effective. Fiscal policy, with oil and gas accounting for 90% of revenues, long-term viability is a worry. Following a pay raise for civil officials and recently announced increase in health and education spending for 2007, the government must keep a close eye on its expanding expenses. Second, the Sharia Financial Supervisor Board was founded in January 2006 as part of the government's diversification drive and to assist the development of Islamic finance. This year, the government launched the Brunei International Financial Center and issues its first Islamic bond. And the success of this project will be dependent on a significant improvement of the financial and regulatory framework, as well as an increase in the availability of qualified human resource. The government also established the SME Innovation Center in 2006, which focused on finding projects that employ information and communication technology to facilitate e-business and e-government. For the monetary policy in Brunei, first, based on a currency board system in which the Brunei dollar is pegged to the Singapore dollar at 1-to-1 parity under the currency interchangeability agreement agreed in 1967 between Brunei Darussalam and the Republic of Singapore. Every Brunei dollar in circulation must be backed up 100% by foreign assets under the currency board system. This system imposes strict monetary policy, which helps to maintain the country's macroeconomic stability and low inflation rate. Second, inflation was mostly stable, hovering around 0% to 2%. During the recession, the government did not pursue any economic stimulus measures. This, together with Brunei government subsidies for the variety of goods and service, as well as the Brunei dollar's gains, helped to keep inflationary processes at bay because the currency is pegged to the Singapore dollar. Any monetary policy steps implemented by the Singapore authorities to control inflation will help Brunei, which, like Singapore, is heavily reliant on imports.
The problem that caused by inflation and unemployment in Brunei. The cause of inflation. The first problem is housing market. There has been a lot of research on residential capitalism, especially with the growth of financialization and the housing crisis, which has focused on the economic and financial value of houses and their leakage. This is despite the fact that cost of the market price for a detached house sold is at least 3 times that of public house detached house. and the other is the lower oil production. Brunei has been producing oil and natural gas for a decade, largely from the two huge mature fields in the offshore Baram Delta, Southwest Amba and Champion. After peaking at 2021 barrel per day in 2006, production has been declined. However, in 2016, the production of petroleum and other liquid fell by nearly half to an estimate 115 barrels per day. What the cause of unemployment? The low qualification is one the cause of unemployment in Brunei. Dato Haji Muhammad Hamid, the Permanent Secretary of Culture, Youth and Sport, stated that among the 80,000 unemployment local, a considerable percentage have either primary or secondary level qualification, making it difficult for them to obtain acceptable unemployment. They must also compete with increasing number of qualified university graduates, making it more difficult to secure a proper job in labor market, resulting in protected periods of unemployment. Other than that, the jobs are few and the economy is unstable. According to a study conducted by Center for Strategic, at least 30,000 jobs, primarily in the private sector, were required to alleviate the unemployment problem. Lastly is jobless persistence in such behavior. Bruneians are thought to be picky about job possibility, with some competent applicants citing low salary, difficult working hours, and poor working conditions as a reason for turning down job offer. What's the method of overcome inflation? First of all, residential property value increased about 10% in 2013, in line with previous year, owing to the persistent land shortage, increase in labor and building material costs, and overall inflation. And secondly, they should extend the life of hydrocarbon until other industry can take over a largely share of the economy. This will be accomplished through increased recovery and regulate production from existing oil and gas fields, as well as the search for a new one. What's the method to overcome unemployment? First of all, the expansion of unemployment exchange. This way, they create a platform to encourage a matchmaking between job seeker and employer for a mutual benefit. The portal major goal is to make it easier for job seeker and businesses to connect for a mutual gain. Other than that, high rate of capital formation should be accelerated. Capital formation should be supported in particular in activity that create more job prospect. This is generate greater employment opportunity to avoid rate of unemployment from rising. Moreover, the government is also attempt to keep their people from losing their job. When there are too many jobless individuals, elected leaders lose their job. The government can use strategy that for reducing unemployment with monetary policy that is expansionary. Lastly, expansionary fiscal policy. By directing producing jobs, the President and Congress help to reduce unemployment. They boost government spending as they did during the New Deal and the economic stimulus program. Increase the spending on public infrastructure and education are the best way to combat unemployment.
In conclusion, Brunei Salam economy is currently highly dependent on the oil and gas sector as a source of export and revenue. The Brunei Salam is vulnerable to economic shock that will present challenge to the life of the people in this country. So, to achieving this goal, Brunei Salam needs to increase economic growth, most of which is comprised of non-oil and gas sector. That's all for us. Thank you.